Gerrie Nel, our guest here, Advocate Gerrie Nel on Morning Live. Thanks very much for staying with us. So we ended off our conversation just before the break about Gabrielle Engels. She approached AfriForum?
What happened is we approached her with our trauma unit.
Okay.
We have a trauma unit. We also have a trauma unit to visit the family. And during that discussion, we said we'll represent her, we'll support her. And they were willing to take up our support. And it falls squarely within our mandate we gave ourselves. Our mandate we gave ourselves is to deal with those cases where the NPA will not prosecute and somebody might avoid prosecution because of political connection or political power. So we clearly saw early on that this is one of those matters that it might happen, and we were right. So it falls squarely within our mandate to ensure that everybody's equal before the law, that there's no selective prosecution, that if you commit a crime, you'll be prosecuted. And this is a matter that really fell squarely within that mandate we gave ourselves, and that's what we're doing.
Well, what's going to happen now? I mean, Grace Mugabe has been given diplomatic immunity. Whether that was right or wrong, we obviously all have our opinions about that, but is there still a case?
Definitely. We filed our papers. I've seen over the weekend that the Democratic Alliance filed their papers. We filed our papers. The legal system, justice takes a while. Our first available court date is on the 18th of September to argue filing of papers, and the first available date on the unopposed motion roll is on the 19th of October. So it will take time.
Yeah.
If they defend this, then it will take longer. But I think we should do what we can to ensure that justice is done. If it takes time, but in the end you can sit back and say justice was done, then it's worth it. It's not something that will happen overnight. But as far as the case is concerned, I've consulted with Gabriella. There's definitely a case. As far as the diplomatic immunity is concerned, again, there's definitely a case. I think that we'll be successful in our application.
Yeah. In your opinion, do you think Grace Mugabe should not have been given diplomatic immunity? I mean, she wasn't visiting the country in a diplomatic manner. It was, as far as we know, coming just to visit her sons.
Yeah, that's my view. My view based on the law and the application of the legal principles as far as diplomatic immunity is concerned. We set it out in our papers. So, yes, I think we'll be successful in our application to have that turnaround.
Obviously, I mean, my question to you is what many people are saying. There is no way we're going to get Grace Mugabe in court. There is no way she will be sentenced. And people are very skeptical about that. The law works for some, but not for others. Do you agree with that sentiment?
I don't. Lots of people said the same thing to me. I think she will be prosecuted. I think as soon as we're successful in our application, then it's up to the NPA to take steps to prosecute her and to have her extradited to the country. Failure of which, we will certainly look at a private prosecution. But sitting where I'm sitting, I am sure that there will be equality before the law and that we will get an opportunity to prosecute Grace Mugabe.
Yeah. All right, so we'll wait and see on that one and developments on it as well. Let's talk about the NPA and your relationship with the NPA. Did you leave on good terms? What was your relationship with the NPA?
Let me just say that I think we have absolutely brilliant prosecutors in this country. These people at the courts in Mamelodi, in Soweto, Pretoria, Johannesburg, men and women that get up early in the morning to go to court, keep our courts running, achieved a conviction rate of close to 90% over the last 5 years. It's just absolutely brilliant. I'm a prosecutor. I'm a prosecutor at heart. I'll always be a prosecutor. I have the greatest respect for prosecutors. I left the organization because I was approached and offered something very exciting. I was willing to retire as a prosecutor, but at the moment, I'm doing something different.
Yeah. I mean, people are worried about Shaun Abrahams. People, firstly, would like to see Shaun Abrahams because it feels like he's nowhere to be found. And the reputation of the NPA is at stake. Getting a high-profile person like you leaving, and I know you've explained it on many occasions as to why you left, but are they under threat? I mean, is there anything to worry about with the NPA?
I hope not. Can I just say that? I hope not. I know lots of people. I know lots of prosecutors. Those men and women are still doing what they should do. As long as they do what they have to do, our criminal justice system will still be we're running and be healthy.
State capture, one of the biggest things that I think this country still speaks about and would like to see a resolution to that. Do you think the NPA are going to actually tackle that? And if they don't, is AfriForum willing to jump on it?
You know, the second part of your question is so much easier to answer, yes, without a doubt. But I have to say, isn't it brilliant what the media did? I mean, what Amma Bungani and Scorpion did in analyzing all these Gupta emails. That's what I do every morning. I can't wait. I have to get up and read what new revelations we have.
So you find that evidence enough? That's good enough evidence for you?
Let me say that I think that it could be turned into evidence easily. The court will always have a discretion to allow unconstitutionally obtained evidence if it's in the interest of society and the interest of justice. This definitely is. There are lots of ways of turning that into admissible evidence, and the answer is yes. I do think so, and I hope they do. I really do hope they do, but if they don't, certainly that's a matter that we will look at, and that we're looking at as we speak.
What about our President, Jacob Zuma? 783 charges against him. Nothing seems to be coming of that either, as yet. Is AfriForum happy to take that?
Let me just explain the process. That appeal will be heard in Bloemfontein on the 15th of September. The court in Pretoria reinstituted the charges. So if the President would fail in Bloemfontein, the charges have been reinstituted, and the NPA will have to prosecute. I've said on many occasions, if the NPA then withdraw again, we will certainly look at that matter.
So you are almost like the NPA's watchdog.
Well, I wouldn't want to say that. I think what we're doing is we're ensuring that there's equality before the law and no selective prosecutions. That's what we're about. If there's no selective prosecutions, I'm without a job. I would gladly play golf and retire. But that's all we're about. It's equality before the law and no selective prosecutions.
All right, we're going to just take our news. We're going to wrap it up with you after that and maybe take one or two questions from our viewers that have written in at Morning Live SABC. You've still got an opportunity to do that, but it is 8 o'clock here on the program. So let's cross over to Palesa for our latest news bulletin.